So you're getting help and you want to dunk on Chantel? And that's why I think Shannon and FFG's chemistry is so beautiful because they're so similar. FFG has to be the hero. That's why she has to always dunk on Chantel with something. Like when she did the thing with BBJ, I stand on this. She did her big one. She did her big one with that one, especially with the way Chantel was running her mouth talking about FFG's dogs and all. When I saw her pull that off, I said, leave it to Chantel to have me applaud FFG. I was pissed. I was like, oh, this was so good. She trolled the fuck out of you. Oh my God. So, just so we're clear, and you heard it here first, what happened with BBJ, rescuing BBJ? The BBJ rescue to FFG will be with the 89 LBs are to Amber. You will always hear about it for years to come. Always. That's never going to die. She did her big one. She had to make it public. And for those saying, oh, it's for the money, I think you guys forget, I've said this before, multiple things can be right at once. She did her big one and definitely helped BBJ, because at this point, I think almost anybody's better than Chantel. But yes, of course it was for the money. If it wasn't for the money, she wouldn't have made it public. Of course it was for the money. Are you kidding? The bitch held a whole, she shopped for BBJ's collar on stream. She shopped for a cat to get a Gucci collar for a cat. Of course it was for money. But I'm not going to take away the fact that, like, at least she got BBJ. But yes, it was for money. Yes, it was for content. Are you crazy? That is her 89 LBs, bitch. She is never letting that go. That will always be content in some way.
Isms. So, French Fried Girls should be worried because Chantal was threatening to sue again. Shadowed that she might have returned to Canada to handle some other business, and she would handle that while she was there. I would be terrified if I was French Fried Girl. So terrified. This is the woman who couldn't even make a vet appointment, and she's going to coordinate a multi-person lawsuit because she felt duped about her cat being given to somebody else. By her to somebody else. But she couldn't tell you who because the selfish bitch wouldn't even walk down the stairs to go say bye. She handed it to Pete's. Again, many reasons we can't follow through with our commitments. So, and Chantal doesn't have much tolerance for distress or discomfort. If something isn't exactly the way she wants to eat it, she's not going to eat it. If it's not the right temperature, she's not going to eat it. So you would think someone as large as her would be much more picky. But, or would be much less picky. But actually, some of the more morbidly obese people I know are rather picky about their food. And, like other folks who deal with addiction, can get pretty nasty if they don't get what they want. How many people think that they've probably fought about food a couple times already? I'm sure he was fine with her coming over, but she farted out a bunch of promises initially that she was gonna, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym and lose weight, and it'll be great, and I'll be going to the beach, and we'll be travel beezing. If you're too fat for a plane, you gotta do something. Because now you can't even get out of there in a hurry if you need to. There's no shame in buying 2 plane seats if you need them, but if you don't like that you need them, or that you're cutting it close to needing them, whose job is it to change the shape of Chantal's body? Yours? Mine? A pill? Some Ozempic? No, it comes down to Chantal and what she chooses to do. At this point, she's had more resources and opportunities and access to treatment over the years that most people don't give a shit how she feels, or that she probably can't handle all of her ADLs maybe on her own, because she was always such a nasty, self-centered person that her discomfort brings people pleasure. We've heard of Schadenfreude. You know, it's the same sort of thing. I don't
So we saw some boats pass by while we were hanging out by the riverside and decided after we were done hanging out by the river to see if we could find a dock and take a boat ride ourselves. On our way,
it was his hard-earned money to try to buy her food that would support her health. And then either she ordered it without him, or he came to reason of, look, I don't love you so much that $250 isn't worth risking your health to me. So if you really love me, Chantal, really, really love me, you'll go on there, eat yourself half to death, and give me the cash. So, I don't know. And she wants privacy. Okay. And where's your husband? Where's your husband? Where's your husband? Where's your husband? He's out with the boys. Thailand, from what I understand, has a very, very active sex scene. So, I'm sure he'll text you. But at any rate, this week we're going to... But she's sitting there, not a lot of people around, but it was the old eyes darting. Remember the outhouse? Or going for Burger King and then sitting in the parking lot, full face of makeup, looking all over the place to see who's looking and who's watching. She's out proud and doesn't care, but hawks like she's ashamed of what she's engaging in. So when she's sitting there with Sala eating, and there's people, not a lot of people, because they go everywhere when it's closed. She's afraid of people, and they want to be able to film, and they're weird. They're weird. She likes getting attention, but standing out doesn't really... I think she probably feels like people are staring, because they are staring. It's a spectacle. She's 4 times the size of a normal woman. So I think people are going to stare. That shouldn't be unexpected. Is it rude? Is it cruel? I don't know. Bottom line, it shouldn't be unexpected. And to act shocked would be kind of stupid as well.
One, I'm pretty, okay? That has a lot, and I don't mean that to be conceited. I'm being very matter of fact. Being pretty gets you a lot of privilege. I'm just saying, you can get away with a lot if you're pretty. Number one, I'm pretty.
Hi guys, and welcome to Tailored Talk. So in my recommended, I'm getting The Haunting of Bly Manor in my recommended, and even though horror isn't really my thing, I began watching some clips. And I thought, instead of just watching Bly Manor clips, why don't I just review it? Why don't I just review it and watch it? So this is my guesswork and my presumptions about the characters and the plot in episode 1 of The Haunting of Bly Manor. Okay, so in the beginning, the older woman that's telling the story, I think she's either Danny or Danny's mother, because when she told the wedding guests, oh, it's not about me, 9 times out of 10, it always is about you when you say that. So it goes back to 1987, and Danny has chemistry with Henry, the uncle offering the job. I really liked the what's the catch conversation. What is Danny running from? It sounds like she got kicked out of her parents' house. Why? Her mother seems supportive now, but did her mum and dad kick her out? And if they kicked her out, why? Owen seems very nice. Hannah Gross, the manager of Bly Manor, she's pretty. I think her story is she is a former runway model that had her career ruined. And when she first met Danny, she was looking down the well. Why was she looking down the well? Is she thinking about trying to harm herself in some way? Is she having some kind of mental breakdown? Guys, I don't think the little girl, Flora, I don't think she's alive. She's very, very odd. And I don't just mean, dealing with grief and being in a rural, massive mansion and being in a creepy mansion and having to live with creepy Miles. It's more than just that. I think Flora is dead. The little girl. She's constantly repeating things. She's like a little adult. It's weird. She's a ghost. She keeps on saying perfectly splendid. Is she possessed by a ghost? Or she's a little girl ghost, basically. I think she's a ghost. I don't think she's alive. I think that she died with her parents, but everyone can still see her. And maybe Miles was so shut down with grief that the only way that little boy Miles could carry on with his life is if he manifested Flora in his mind. I do not. Flora is a little girl ghost. So, Danny, this was hilarious. Danny making tea. Danny is like me making tea because I cannot make anyone tea except for myself. You know, if we have guests or whatever, I cannot make tea for them because my tea is crap because it's too sugary and too milky. But that's how I like it. But I can't make anybody milk. I can't make guest milk. I can't be a host and make milk. I can't serve tea to guests because my tea is really weird. I'm full of sugar. It was so funny when they all hated the tea and they're too polite to say it's so British. Like, okay, Flora is old enough to bathe herself. Why is Danny there? Why is Danny there? She's more than old enough to bathe herself without any help. Danny is being haunted by a ghost with huge, like, torch-like eyes and is like a black shadowy figure. Who is that? Did she kill that person? So Flora also in the bathroom, she has a quick personality change, and it for me it confirmed to me that she's a ghost. She went from, who gave you that butterfly clip? You can't have it. It's not yours. To, you can keep the clip. It's fine. I'm okay. Like Flora's a ghost. She's a mean little girl ghost. Something's definitely wrong with her. She's dead. Flora is definitely dead. And I don't know like what's wrong with her, whether she's got a personality disorder or something. Maybe she's just a bossy little girl ghost, but something's going on. Flora has really weird personality fluctuations. It's really strange. What is the mystery of the old wing? When Danny went to the old wing, I thought that she was going to get attacked. So Hannah Grows was amazing in the scene with the church with Danny, explaining the death of the last governess, Rebecca. Hannah was amazing in that scene. You just wanted to cry with her. And like the way that the light was on her face, she's such a stunning woman. And I'm still going with the fact that Hannah is a former model. Maybe she wants to model again. I don't know. Maybe she wants to do something in the fashion industry. Maybe she's leaving Bly. Okay, looking at Danny in the closet, we all knew that something was going to happen. And I don't trust those kids. I think that they're going to kill someone. Flora, the little ghost child, and Miles, they're going to kill someone. They give me Chucky vibes. And, Victoria did a really good job of the panic attack when she was in the closet. She was so pissed. I really thought that she was going to hit one of the kids when she came out. When the kids said that there was no key, it's obvious that they were lying. It's obvious. There was a key, a little key in there, a little thin key. When they twisted the lock, and all of a sudden there's no key. Yeah, right. My closing thoughts is that first episode of The Haunting of Bly Manor is that Flora is a girl ghost. Miles is very odd, but he's alive. Hannah Gross may be a former model with an eating disorder because she refuses to eat in public. Uncle Henry, I think possibility that he maybe killed the children's parents, and that's why he doesn't visit them anymore. Did Danny kill somebody? And that's what the shadow following her is all about. Maybe that's why she got kicked out of her parents. Maybe she accidentally killed somebody. Maybe she's a psycho and killed somebody like Eileen Warnos and killed somebody intentionally because she hates men or something. I don't know. But I do think Danny and Owen did have chemistry, so maybe they're going to be a thing. And Danny and Henry did have chemistry, so they could be a thing. But maybe Danny did kill somebody in bloodlust, and that's why the shadow is haunting her, because he can't be laid to rest. And maybe Bly Manor is going to help him kill Danny. Maybe that's going to happen. Guys, I just want to add that the chemistry between Hannah Gross and the two children is very realistic. Even though we haven't had many scenes with them, you know for a fact that those kids do like her and she genuinely likes them, and all three of them genuinely have chemistry. And despite how creepy Miles and Flora are, you can tell that they genuinely like and respect Hannah. So kudos to the casting, because Hannah and the children, you can tell that they do have a bond for the limited time that they were on screen on episode 1. So congrats to the casting director for that, because that was a great casting decision. Okay, guys, though that's my guesswork, that's my speculation on the character arcs of the characters in The Haunting of Bly Manor. Thank you for watching. Thanks for listening.